I wanted to talk to you about divine feminine leadership and really what it is that makes it so different, right? So a couple of weeks ago, I was having a conversation with somebody who is a woman in leadership, and we were talking about what I do here with this, with CEO Essence and the Unshakable Women Facebook group. She's not on Facebook. I'm hoping to get her on for an interview at some point. I think you'd like her. Anyway, we were talking about some of the differences between styles of leadership because she also comes up from a very male-dominated area. And so we were looking at some of the different people that are on the team that we're working with. In fact, I'm back with them right now. You know, men and women, and some of them are younger, some of them older, the different cultures that they all come from. And I was talking to her about how she built this team and what inspired her to build it the way she built it. Because she built this team very much based on whether or not everybody was in alignment with the vision that she saw for how a workplace would go. She said she recognizes that she's not necessarily the smartest person in the room, and she didn't feel that that needed to be her job. It was the first thing that I was like, oh, yes. Because we as women have a tendency to want to be the smartest or the best. We feel like we have to understand how to do everything. So we give 100%, 200%, 300% before we'll even try for the next level. Right. In her case, she recognized right up front that that's not my job. Somebody else's job is to be the engineer or the environmentalist or the mechanic or the maintenance person or whatever the case might have been. And her job is to make sure they all work together in a very cohesive group. The other thing, so that was the first thing, right, is recognizing she doesn't have to know everything. She doesn't have to know everything. She has to know enough about everything to be able to ask intelligent questions and to know whether or not the person is doing their job well. Okay. So first thing. Second thing that she and I were talking about is whether or not, how people handled conflict. Because now we're talking about a group that is very diverse. Right, we're talking about a group that there's somebody from South Africa, somebody from Honduras, a couple people from Germany, somebody from France, India, right? So very diverse group of people, and some of them women, some of them men. Now, when you're dealing with such a diversity, you have not only gender issues, nor do you have role issues, you also have their cultural challenges that you're dealing with, right? And in this case, most of them were quite young. So you also have age challenges to deal with when they're dealing with somebody who's older than them, right? So there are a lot of differences that she had to be aware of as she was pulling this group together. So I was really curious to know how she pulled this group together. And she said she started with one person, making sure that that one person was in alignment with the way she wanted to treat people, the way she wanted to be treated, the way, the plant ran, and making sure that everybody understood what was going on enough to be able to do their jobs well. And then she started building from there. Right? So she set out to build a team of people that really were in alignment from a energetic perspective, right? As well as a business perspective. And this is really important. This is another thing that we need to understand. We feel like people need to agree with us, right? A lot of people, I know some of my past bosses, some of the most toxic people I worked for wanted me to toe the line exactly this way, right? I had to agree with everything they said, and I didn't agree with everything they said. But conversation was not encouraged. So this person is encouraging conversation, which is fantastic. And I encourage you to stop and think about, how are you dealing with people that disagree with you? Are you doing you must toe the line and this is how it's going to be because I'm the boss? Or are you questioning, challenging, and listening to what is being said, right? Because this is really important, being able to listen to differences of opinion, right? And ask questions in order to be able to understand and answer questions so that they're understood, okay? So that was the second thing. And the third thing that I found just so, for me, so heartwarming is that she wanted a group that was fun, right? And that's really important to me as well. So that joy and fun in being able to be in leadership, she says, sometimes she walks by her team and she gets this little thrill because they're in there laughing together. She knows they're working hard because she sees what, comes across her desk, and they're still having a good time while they're doing it. So the three things, right, is really to be able to understand, one, you don't have to know all the answers. You just have to know how to ask questions and how to know enough so that you can make sure that the job is being done well. Two, how are you handling conflict, right? Because conflict is going to happen. We're human, right? And if you allow conflict, it creates better connections and more trust, right? Whereas if you just tell everybody they have to toe the line and do it this way, well, they're not going to trust you because they think you don't trust them. And fun. So divine feminine leadership, it looks different. It feels different. It is different. And I encourage you to really stop and think about where in your leadership can you make some adjustments so that you are in a better place that feels better to you, feels more in alignment, there we go, with who you are and how you want to live your life. And ask yourself, what can I change today? What am I doing well? What am I willing to let go of? And how am I going to move this forward? So, much love. Talk to you later. Bye for now.